Today on DNVR Buffs Live, inside our new life as college football head coaches, and what would it mean for Clemson and Florida State to join the Big 12? All that and more. Let's dive in. Let's go.
Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your front range Toyota stores. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. It is DNVR Buffs Prime Time. Wow, we finally made it to this day.
We finally made it, and I feel like I handled my self-control a little better than you.
Will not comment on those accusations. Thank you very much.
Why
trying
not?
To practice, bro. Just trying to get better, you know?
That's true. You know, once I beat you and closed you out with that pick six late, it just motivated you. It was like your villain arc.
Do you understand the stages I've been on for my last like 2 performances? In front of the whole office, embarrassed, and then in front of our chat here. In front
What
of
was
everyone.
the whole office?
For the Madden tournament.
Oh, that was like 3 people there.
It was people whose opinions I care about when it comes to this stuff.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's just why don't you just tell us a little bit, or should I start?
What do you want me to share?
I just want to, how much CFB 25 did you play last night?
I played a lot. A lot.
Can we get an hour's estimation?
I don't know. I got home at least 8 to 10 hours. I mean, we were grinding it out, bro. We're trying to get better over here, you know?
This is actually crazy because I remember when I was a kid, and honestly, yeah, basically when I was a kid, getting a new video game then was like what being at the casino is now.
Yes.
Which is like you just lose track of time. You don't really care.
Yep.
You just keep thinking one more game, and then you just add another one, and it's just the same thing as when you're at a blackjack table and you're like, well, what's one more hand? And then you lose, and you're like, okay, well, now I got to get that one back, so I got to play another one. I thought that would happen to me last night, but it didn't. I got tired at a normal time and went to sleep.
Well, okay. So my plan wasn't to stay up as late. As you know, the servers were down for a lot of yesterday.
Yeah.
So I created an online dynasty, not even thinking about it. So I couldn't update my dynasty. So I played week 1 a lot.
Damn.
Just for practice. And then literally the game where I was like, all right, that's probably enough. It saved my dynasty, and I was on the week 2. And I was like, oh, I got to recruit now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I finished recruiting, and I was like, well, I want to recruit again. So I played the game. And now you see the cycle that I've been in.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple comments here. Scroll up a little bit because someone said, still coming down off that dub in Lincoln. What a day to be alive. All right. So, and then someone else said, RK thought it was all going to be sunshine and rainbows. I would just say that we overlooked North Dakota State a little bit, you know?
Wow.
AKA Northwest FCS Sharks. They were sharks, dude. They were sharks in the water. I will not say that I will say I overlooked them because the first game that I played, I was just like, I need an easy dub. So the first game I played on the whole console or the whole game was against Kennesaw State.
Okay.
And so I was just like, I just want to get a feel for how this feels. And I put up like 65 points. Shedeur threw for 655 yards. So then I was like, okay, now I'm playing an FCS team. It'll be even easier than that.
No.
The FCS teams have teeth. This is a good lesson for all the Buffs.
Yes.
I honestly think if any player on the team has the game and plays a Buffs Dynasty, it'll be a good thing for them to realize that you can't overlook the FCS teams.
I can vouch. FCS Southwest, I think, Pandas.
Yeah.
They gave me a fight last night. That was something.
So anyways, I was down, came back, won that game. I would say it was electric. It wasn't. It was just, it honestly reminded me of the CSU game last year where I was just nervous the whole time. Like all the comments were like, damn, RK, I hope the real game's not like this. Like,
oh, see, you put too much pressure on yourself with this Colorado.
You're letting
dynasty.
us down. Then I had to look introspectively, and I was like, do I have what it takes to beat Nebraska in Lincoln right now? Like, I feel like maybe I should end this stream and just go practice and be back tomorrow. But no, we persevered, and we said, that was a fluke. We overlooked them, but tonight, we're going to play Nebraska, and we're going to beat them. And we went into Lincoln. We overcame adversity. We started hot. Then we ended up being down and pulled it out with a electric Jalen Wester scoop and score. And as the comments all echoed, one thing about Nebraska, they're going to fumble that rock. It was beautiful.
I mean, they got the game pretty realistic, right?
They did get the game very realistic. Shout out to everyone who followed. I'm actually going to cut a highlight reel from last night and tweet it out.
Oh, you're in deep, bro.
For those of you who didn't pay attention, just to see what you missed. You missed a lot of great drama. We had a post-game press conference after the game.
I love it.
The chat was bringing it with the questions. So if you haven't already, RK_DNVR on Twitch. We're going to Fort Collins tonight. And then we're going to enter the Big 12.
Nice. My UAB Blazers have a massive game against Tulane coming up. We've got multiple 4-stars coming in to visit. It's a big weekend for the future of this program, and I couldn't be more excited about the direction we're headed.
Good luck, man. I feel like I have I need to watch a YouTube video about recruiting just because I feel like I didn't do it right.
Yeah.
Now
that's one of the first things I did yesterday. Watched a 30-minute breakdown of recruiting.
Why don't you tell me this stuff, dude?
I can send you the video.
Thanks.
My guy Bengal, bro.
I missed out on 2 quarterbacks because they closed their top 5s in week 2. Like, what are we doing, boys? But
yep,
we found a guy. His name's Vince something. He's got a huge arm. He's gonna come in and hopefully, well, he hasn't committed yet, but we're gonna make sure he does.
Are you trying to have a visit weekend like the Buffs had for Juju a few weeks ago?
Maybe. Yeah. I wish you could just. They should just let incoming freshmen sign the deal to be in the game too, but for less.
Yes.
Like pay them $300 for like all the 5-star recruits,
right,
just to make it a little more realistic. Exile Rugby said, I saw some dude playing that beat CSU 136-3 last night. Honestly embarrassing that he let him score, first of all. Second of all, it's got to be freshman mode.
Do people have fun playing like that?
Honestly, to me, if I were to do it, it would just be for the screenshot, which probably did numbers on Twitter, so respect to him.
For sure. But, like, I don't know. I get up, like, 50 points. I'm like, all right, when's this game end?
Yeah.
Like, I'll run out the clock before I put up another 50.
I would probably sim through defense and then just throw a streak to Travis and just do it again.
I did practice with the Buffs for a bit yesterday, and Shedeur's deep ball is ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I think we're hitting at 100% right now on maybe 90% on 9 balls to Travis.
So with that, I felt really good after our game yesterday because I felt like I didn't allow much over the top. So
I know. I hate that smart people can take that away.
Your boy knows ball. I know what I'm doing. I just gotta, shake off the rust. Like, It's been a minute.
Yep.
Do you think what do you think is the more productive day, today or the day after the Super Bowl? Like in this country?
Today. But yesterday, I think would be more in question because the game came out. There were 700,000 people online.
I know.
Can we just think about that for a second? 700,000 people paid $100 to get that game.
The game isn't fully out.
Early.
Yes. It's insane, bro.
They're going to sell over 1 million copies of this? Is that a record?
This game is taking over the world. It's already taken over my life.
700,000 people were online. That doesn't even include the people who are just playing Dynasty mode.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably already sold 1 million copies.
In terms of pre-orders, absolutely. They had to have.
What's their record for video game sales? I'll look it up.
I mean, the all-time record?
Yeah.
The all-time record's like Wii Sports because it sold with every Wii back in the day.
Doesn't count.
Then it's like... Damn, I don't know, Call of Duty or something?
Dude.
What?
Minecraft sold 300 million.
Minecraft, how could I forget? What a goated game.
300 million? Wii Sports only 82 million.
Have you ever played Minecraft?
Nope.
That is
Grand
sad,
Theft Auto
bro.
5 is second.
Yeah.
200 million. Tetris, third, 100 million. Then Wii Sports. Some of these I've never even heard of. PUBG.
Yep. You don't know what PUBG is? You play this game so much, but you're so like not a gamer that it's crazy to me.
Yeah, this is everything in my life. I just only know sports.
That is insane. Never heard of PUBG?
What is it?
It's Players Unknown Battlegrounds. It's one of the first battle royales that came out, like before Fortnite, before Warzone, all that stuff.
Terraria?
It's like 2D Minecraft.
Okay. Yeah. There's several of these I've never heard of, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm not a gamer. I'm just a ball knower.
Absolutely insane. What are your plans today, though? Just to continue the dynasty?
Yeah, continue the dynasty. I actually had a lot of fun playing online games. So I'll probably play some online games too. I think I said it last night on the thing, but my boy Kenny Bell, who played at Nebraska, wants to get a CU Nebraska stream going. So we'll probably do that at some point. But yeah.
Is every game your Super Bowl?
No, every game
is everyone else's Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was definitely the Sharks' Super Bowl, man. Their quarterback had the game of his life. He was like 20 of 22 for 400 yards.
I seriously think that it's almost in like territory they need to fix the FCS teams. Because I played UL Monroe, not nearly as tough as FCS Southwest.
Maybe it's because it's their Super Bowl, though.
How is it? Well, I guess, never mind.
I'm telling you, I hope that after the game, after the Buffs beat North Dakota State, someone says like, "Man, I played CFB 25, and that team was nasty, so it got me ready for this."
Do I have a Twitch presence? I'll work on it. I'm still trying to learn, honestly. So, but I don't know. I'll probably start a Buffs Dynasty to stream and stuff too. But
I saw Bucky was considering bailing on the Buffs.
Yeah, the rumor out there is the O-line not great in the game.
They showed up for me in Lincoln.
You've been running?
They showed up for me in Lincoln. We ran stretch right, stretch left, all the way down the field to end the game.
All right. Is there much option stuff in the CU playbook? Do they run Shedeur at all?
There is a sick option where the slot receiver on the right motions in, and then you can either hand it off or run option with them.
There's a sick play in the UAB playbook where it's a stretch with the running back, but the slot comes back and you can pitch it to the slot coming back on a reverse.
Sick.
It's
you
nasty.
can choose?
You just hit the pitch button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sick stuff. I'm actually sad we were having this discussion in our league chat today. The league's probably going to start this weekend, I'm guessing.
Okay.
You have to stick with your playbook, which I understand.
Of course. No, that's how it should be, I think.
But I'm sad that I won't get to use like some of the cool plays I've seen other teams running. Like I saw like Boise State had a cool reverse pass, and like in Madden I just make a 500 play playbook with all of the coolest best plays.
Right. All right. Who are we shouting out today? Our friends at UC Health again. If you're like me and you're playing too much of EA College Football already, remember to not neglect your mental health. Our friends at UC Health have you covered there. You can go to their site. They got a bunch of patient stories, some inspiring stuff, some cool stuff that'll maybe help you out. They have a patient named David Schlitt. He's a Colorado teenager who loves being active outdoors. He's a prime example of someone taking care of their mental health and living like there's a tomorrow. If you want to learn more about David's story and see more inspiring patient stories from UC Health, you can head to uchealth.com/tomorrow to learn what it means to live like there is a tomorrow. EACFB is giving me a reason to live like there is tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. I love my Toyota. I really do, though. Best car I've ever had.
That was good. That was good.
I was trying so hard not to play off of what you said. Make sure you check out your Front Range Toyota stores. They have the absolute best customer service in the game. They'll always take care of you if you got an issue with your car. They were very helpful. I don't know about you guys, if you've ever bought or leased a car, the process of it, honestly, is normally terrible. There's just so much paperwork and so many we'll be back. Hold on, we got to go check on something. I didn't have that experience when I bought my Toyota. So shout out to them. They're absolutely amazing, and they love DNVR. So
yes,
what more could we ask for them? And they're an official partner of CU Athletics. So visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood Toyota, proud partner of CU Athletics, like I mentioned, and the official vehicle of DNVR.
So around this time last year, a little bit later, end of July last year, is when we got the news Colorado going to the Big 12. They were the first ones after, the whole USC, UCLA thing, Texas, Oklahoma thing, to leave and join a new conference. The Four Corner schools is what it ended up becoming in the Big 12. Of course, Arizona, Arizona State, Utah. But we did a tier list. We theorized which expansion candidates we could talk about. And we'll get to this later on. But earlier today, Brett McMurphy of the Action Network published a report titled, "The Big Ten and SEC are unlikely to add Florida State if the ACC survives." And we've kind of talked about this before, too, that Florida State is suing the ACC to try and get out of that ludicrous media rights deal that goes through, 2035 or something crazy for the ACC? They're locked in for a long time.
Yeah.
So Brett McMurphy was reporting on this.
Why did they agree to that?
I don't know. Insane.
You didn't see this coming? That would end up being a bad idea?
Well, I don't know when it was signed. I could find that out. But
it was last year around this time, I feel like.
Not ACC.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. 2016. They signed a 20-year media deal.
Still should have had the foresight to know that would be a bad idea, but not as bad.
But at the time, it was this conference could rival the SEC because Clemson was at the top. Florida State was just coming off a natty. North Carolina ended up having a moment then.
But I feel like even in 2016, I could have told you that college football realignment is going to get completely out of hand eventually.
Of course. Yeah, it was inevitable. We were on a collision course.
Yep.
But Brett McMurphy, he got a quote from Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner at Media Days. And he said, "We're focused on our 16 period. I'm not going to guess about what happens next. We can certainly remain at 16 for a long, long time and be incredibly successful." He spoke to a source at the Big Ten. They said the Big Ten also is not interested in the Seminoles. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti is staying away from expansion, and we're taking Tony's lead. So, that either means the ACC somehow comes to a truce with FSU and whoever's suing them, or Commissioner Yormark of the Big 12, who has remained consistent in saying that we're going to be aggressive in all fronts, realignment and everything else.
He basically has a catchphrase now. He thinks it's a catchphrase.
Yeah.
We're open for business.
Yes, exactly. What do you think? FSU/Clemson to the Big 12.
First of all, I can understand where the SEC and Big Ten are at right now. They hold all the cards.
They're powerhouses.
So they don't need to do anything.
Right.
It's expensive to add teams like this. It's a little bit messy, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think FSU and Clemson would change the way people feel about the SEC?
I mean, it's so strong right now that it'd be just like the rich getting richer.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess they would kind of monopolize the Southeast.
yeah,
And just the South in general.
that whole Eastern Coast, really.
Yeah. But I just don't think anyone everyone already thinks the SEC is the best, and everyone already thinks the Big Ten's the second best.
Right.
The Big Ten, obviously, who's the southernmost team in the Big Ten? Probably USC.
Well, yeah, of course. But before, I don't know, maybe Nebraska.
Yeah. So they're not trying to do this whole cover the whole map thing, even though USC and UCLA and Oregon and Washington were weird. I just think they're saying we'll take up here, you guys take down there. Meanwhile, the Big 12 is very clearly in the lead of a race to stay alive against any other conference.
Of course, yeah.
So the Big 12 should be all over this, in my opinion. Maryland, I guess, could be in that mix too. But anyways, it makes sense for me for the Big 12 to say, if we get FSU and Clemson, now, as much as I want to say Colorado is going to be the headliner, that would be the headline. Those would be the headliners.
Yeah.
And Colorado hopefully is part of that mix as well. But you basically are saying now we have two teams, national championship caliber programs that have been very relevant very recently in our conference, and now we can compete with these other schools. You hope that Colorado jumps up and becomes one of those teams. You hope that Oklahoma State, without being pushed down by their big brother Oklahoma, can blossom into one of those teams.
Sure.
Kansas State as well as,
Utah
in that secondary conversation. Utah is in that secondary conversation. So if you get a couple of those to pop, let's just say you get Colorado, Oklahoma State, Florida State, and Clemson all to become powerhouses or teams that are in the college football playoff, once every couple of years. Now you can't really be killed.
I mean, so when we did this tier list last year, we had 3 teams in the S tier. And this was before the rest of realignment happened. So we had Oregon up there. I can't remember who else was up there, but FSU was up there. And this is the point of realignment, is strengthening your conference. And adding FSU and Clemson, without a doubt, for football at least, strengthens your conference immediately, day one.
Yep.
You legitimize your automatic bid. You legitimize your conference schedule, your strength of schedule with that. And Commissioner Yormark hasn't been shy about, we're going nationwide. We're going all 4 time zones. It doesn't matter where we are or where these teams are. We're getting the best teams.
They already are all 4 time zones, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are they Pacific yet?
They do. Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So you have all 4 time zones already, even though Arizona's weirdly sometimes in the mountain time zone. But to me, this would be good news for Colorado.
I agree.
And it's twofold. One, and I believe this to be the most important one, is I think it stops Colorado from having to be in the race to get accepted eventually by the ACC or by the SEC or Big Ten.
Yes.
Right now, I think everyone in the Big Ten is trying to win over the attention of those 2 bigger conferences, Big 12. Whereas now, I think it could actually be a 3-conference race. I've been talking about for years that it's going to be a 2-conference system eventually. I think adding those 2 teams would legitimately give the Big 12 staying power to being the 3rd conference that survives and lasts. And it would be kind of cool because I've been I don't want college football to feel like the NFL. And 2 giant conferences playing against each other where the champions essentially meet for a Super Bowl would not be fun to me.
I agree.
So I like the idea of there being 3, and I think adding these 2 would be very beneficial to that. Additionally, you can't deny, Coach Prime having another footprint in Florida to be able to recruit there, another game in Florida. It's an advantage. The games would be unbelievable. The atmospheres that you would get there. I think you might end up with a true rival depending on how long
Yes.
Coach Prime were to stay at Colorado. But if he
Yes.
stays for a long time, I think that could develop into a true rivalry. And so I don't really see the downside for Colorado unless you're someone who says, like, well, it makes the path to winning the conference harder, which is true. But I think you need your conference to be stronger
Yes.
for survival.
You definitely do, man. We'll get back to this here shortly. Last thing we're going to touch on before we get back to it, though.
Why are people anti-Clemson?
I don't know. I'm interested to, like, Reggie, I like, explain. I'd like to hear, like, your full explanation why you don't like it. And anyone else, thoughts on this whole thing, like, I'd love to hear, because I don't know. There's been some stuff, like, the Big Ten has come out and said that whoever's guiding the FSU is not doing a great job and is setting them up for failure and stuff like that. So I just want to hear the other side of the whole thing. But speaking of Florida, we talked about Cormani McClain yesterday. Today, Polk Way tweets out that he's been dismissed from the team. And then on 3 starts saying, no, that's not true. And then Florida State's DB's coach goes out and literally just tweets, not true. SEC Media Days are going on right now. Is that a factor at play? But I don't know. But it's not sounding great.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just see what happens. But I'll just echo what I said yesterday, which is just really hoping for Cormani that he figures this out. If he does end up being dismissed, what I'm guessing is he's probably suspended indefinitely, and that's how they can say not true.
Right.
But I don't know that. It's just pure guesswork. If he ends up being dismissed from that program, I think he'll probably have one more chance. He'll have to go
G5, something.
G5 or below.
Yep.
And I just hope that he makes it happen. I don't think that Cormani is like a bad kid by any stretch of the mind. Like, I think he's a good person who is struggling to find his footing in a setup that is very different from high school, where he could just be the best athlete on the field at all times. There's a lot more to college football, and he's not the first one, not even one of the first probably 20,000 players who have struggled with this transition. And there's also thousands who have figured it out eventually. And sometimes your third stop is the right one.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Go back and look at how many guys it's happened to who have eventually made the jump to the NFL, where it's like, they bounced around in college for a bit. They couldn't get their act together here. They were struggling to get their schoolwork done here. But then they go to one spot, finally put it together, have a great year, and then just vaults them back into NFL draft conversation.
100%.
It happens all the time. And I'll say this again, too. I said this when Cormani entered the portal, too, but I spoke to a player on the team around that time. By no means was he a bad teammate. Everyone liked Cormani on the team.
Yeah.
It's just he didn't put in the work.
Yeah, I mean, bad teammate can be construed in different ways in terms of if you were putting in the work, some would say you are.
I guess like locker room cancer.
There you go. That is 100% correct.
Yes.
It wasn't that the guys didn't like him. It wasn't that they thought he was a bad guy. It wasn't any of that. It was just he was really struggling to, the word that Travis used, mature.
Yep.
He was struggling to mature. We wish him the best.
We do wish him the best. Alyssa, I sent you that tier list.
Damn,
get it ready.
That's brutal. Exile rugby.
Oh, man. All right. Shout out to our friends over at Lucy Nicotine. Which Lucy's are you on right now? Are you still on the Apple Mint? Is that your one?
Mint. No, I don't do the apple ice. I don't really
Or
do
Apple Ice, that's what it is.
I don't really do fruity things.
But they taste good from Lucy.
They
Because
do.
I agree.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't really like fruity candy. Like, I will eat it. I'll eat Skittles or whatever if they're there, but like I wouldn't seek it out. Same thing with these types of flavors. So I'm on the mint.
Okay. I endorse the mangoes and the apple ices.
I kind of came around on the mangoes. I was glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't trade you mine.
Yeah.
I also kind of came around on the cinnamons.
Cinnamon,
Okay.
Like, I don't dislike cinnamon. It's just, in that way, not great.
Crazy part is the best part of the Lucy's is like 20 minutes in. Like, I feel like that's when the flavor is at its best.
Yes, definitely.
Which is very different from their competitors.
Absolutely. Lucy is 100% nicotine, no tobacco. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/buffs, BUFFS. and use that promo code BUFFS to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's lucy.co, and use code BUFFS, BUFFS, to get 20% off and always free shipping. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical, and every order is age verified.
Also, shout out to Bet365. I actually ended up winning money on the fights on Saturday night on Bet365.
Nice.
Despite not knowing who anyone was until like the last two fights.
Is it like a better feeling when you're in the building and you win a UFC bet as opposed to just winning one in general? Because that's one of the best like betting highs in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say it's up there, but I don't know if I had any, like, there's certain fights where like your fighter is like on their last, leg, and then they come back and win. Like, that's the best. So there weren't any like that, but there was an electric moment where Henry and I lost our first 3 bets. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I'm like, we're going to win our next one. I promise you we're going to win our next one. He's like, I'm not feeling good about it. I'm nervous. I was like, this is our guy. I wish I could remember his name, but I'm like, this is our guy. He's going to win. Trust me. Bro comes out. 15 seconds in, he knocks out his opponent.
Wow,
and that was so electric. And it's honestly like my number one endorsement of sports betting. I would never say like do this to make a bunch of money or anything like that. My thing is do this because it makes watching sports more fun.
Agreed.
I watched the Euro Cup final. Is that what it's called? The Euros final. Had to bet on it. I lost. Don't even care because I was invested. Watched the Copa America final. Bet on it. Lost. Didn't care because I was into the whole game. To me, it's like if you're going to pay 10, 20, however, whatever your number is, dollars just to make 3 hours more entertaining, I feel like everyone would do it. That's my endorsement
for sure
of betting on sports. So get over to Bet365, deposit $10 and get the bet and get offer, which is to place a bet of $5 or more and get $150 in bonus bets. Of course, you must be 21 and over and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem or wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Reef says it's called the Euros.
So there's no cup at the end of it?
I guess not. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy here. All right, we've got about 20 minutes, and we've got like 21 teams to get through here on this. So we need efficiency.
It's weird because I was told by you we didn't have enough to talk about today.
Well, I was literally doing this during the first part of the show, so I got us.
Thank you.
S, A, B, C, F tier. This is mostly ACC teams with a few others sprinkled in. Just starting in the order that we're in. And we're doing Big 12 expansion candidates for the future. We're at 16, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say there's, I don't know, would there be 4 spots open, or is it just 2 spots open, you think, to join the conference?
Well, I think the sky's the limit.
All right, then. Let's start. It's okay, Alyssa. We don't need it.
I kind of need it.
I've got you here.
All right.
There we go. I don't know.
That's fine.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I'm going to crash the computer.
Okay.
Just leave it. It's okay. Boise State.
Wow. Starting off hot. I would put Boise State. I'm going to start in B tier with the possibility of moving them up. I think Boise State has huge Big 12 vibes, but they're not a, I don't know. They wouldn't help the conference that much. I just think they would fit well in the conference. So I like them as an option, but you can't put them too high on the list.
When we did this last year, we talked a lot about like the moment has passed for them, basically, in terms of realignment. They're just not, a perennial top 25 team anymore. They're a really good team, and they're like fringe top 25, but they're not mainstays every year, year in, year out in there.
Yeah, and a lot of times this stuff comes down to TV markets, and Boise not
That's true.
high on that list. But I just do think, I don't know, I like them as a football program, and I've thought they should be in the Power 5 / now Power 4 for a while.
Cal.
I want nothing to do with former Pac-12 schools.
F tier?
We can put them in the D tier.
We don't have a D tier.
C tier.
Okay. Do you want to do Clemson now, or do you want to save it? I think it's pretty easy, honestly.
That's S tier.
Of course.
I think so. I was interested in seeing some of the chats that they seem like more of an SEC school. I think that's a positive of them if you're able to get a school like that. I just think that there's only so many schools like this available out there right now, and it's probably just Clemson and FSU. Like, if you were able to get them, I think it helps the brand a lot.
CSU is next. We can save them if you want. Or
No, just put them in the F tier where they belong.
Okay. Done and dusted. Duke.
This doesn't feel like a fit to me whatsoever.
Okay.
So the basketball thing gives them a huge boost. We already have the best basketball conference in the country.
Yes.
But if you were to add Duke and North Carolina, you could be an insane basketball conference.
Yes. You would be the basketball conference.
You're basically just the NBA.
You're the double G League?
Yeah. I mean, you would be better than the G League probably. Put them in the B tier. We'll maybe think basketball later. I'm just not. I don't know. Basketball doesn't actually move needles.
FSU.
That's S tier.
It is S tier.
Again, a school that would immediately improve the quality of the Big 12, improve the footprint, improve the viewership. It's a no-brainer if you can do it.
Guys, we already have 20 teams. We weren't able to add like the SDSUs and the Fresno States and stuff. So
yeah, they're not invited.
They're not invited. There you go. Georgia Tech, the Atlanta market.
I'm going to start them in the A tier.
Okay.
Atlanta market is big, but they don't move the needle from a football perspective or really a basketball perspective. But they do move the needle from a market perspective.
And recruiting perspective.
And recruiting.
I think you had a team like that, your conference just becomes better just by the pipeline that you have access to.
Yeah.
Louisville.
I'm completely unmoved by Louisville.
C tier with the Pac-12 team?
Sure.
All right. The U, Miami.
Is there any reason why this shouldn't be S tier?
They haven't been good for a while.
They still carry that their
attendance
brand.
isn't bad. Is not great.
Okay.
They play in a NFL stadium, off campus.
A for now? Are you talking me out of it?
No, I'm just trying to just what they are.
All right.
They're a decent basketball program.
Yeah, made a Final Four recently.
Yeah. A tier, yeah.
Okay.
NC State, a team that's always like kind of in the mix, but not in contender area in the ACC.
Speaking of recent Final Four appearances,
Yep.
Another one that's just like you're adding a really strong athletic program. Mm-hmm. I don't think it moves the needle. I don't think people tune in to watch NC State football that aren't NC State fans.
Yeah.
And I would probably say the same thing about the basketball program. I think they're better. They're a bigger football draw than Duke, but a lesser basketball draw.
They have put players into the league, too.
What do you think, A or B?
I think it's B tier just based on how we have it right now.
B.
Oregon State.
Sorry, Connor.
C tier. Pitt. The Narduzzi rivalry with Coach Prime? Take more of his edge rushers?
They fit right in with the Bs. I would like to see them play, though. That'd be fun.
Fire uniforms, too, by the way. I like the Pitt unis.
Yeah.
This is a new ACC edition, and it is in Big 12 country, SMU.
And I think we talked about this when SMU was a potential Big 12 edition.
Yep.
I'm more interested in SMU now than I was then, I think. I don't remember where I ranked them before.
I could pull it up here.
Here's the thing about SMU. The Big 12 currently has Houston. They have Fort Worth in TCU. They have Baylor, so they have Waco. Mm-hmm. And you could add Dallas. Now, Fort Worth and Dallas obviously right next to each other, but from what I've heard, there is a delineation there. Like, they don't really claim each other as much as people might assume.
Mm-hmm.
I think adding Dallas to this mix would actually be kind of nice. And I think that as SMU is now in the ACC and they're going to get big games at their stadium in Dallas, you're actually going to start to see really big crowds there. And maybe the SMU of the past, and they'll never get back to where they were before they got the death penalty. But maybe you just regain some of that like Texas pride. And then here's this other thing. Now you would have 5. Oh, I forgot about Lubbock and Texas Tech. So you would have 5 Texas schools in the conference, right? Am I forgetting any?
Oh,
Texas
man.
Tech, TCU, Baylor, Houston, and then now you would have SMU. Am I forgetting any? I don't think so.
No, that's it.
Dude, that now makes the Big 12 the Texas conference.
Yep, it does.
And it probably already is right now. But now that Texas has gone off to the SEC, there's a little bit of like a battle there. And of course, Texas A&M as well. But I think there's something to be said for that. And so I'm not putting them S tier, but I think I would be willing to put them A tier.
They were really good last year. I think they won the American Conference. They won 11 games. They lost quite a bit. Remember, we talked, I think, of 2 offensive linemen that entered the portal that were starters from them. But they still have some talent. I think they'll be solid. Well,
SMU's recruiting well, yeah.
They have like one of the strongest and most and just biggest like alumni and booster like bases in the country.
Yeah, there was something crazy about their fundraising this last year. Like they had like they
paid
raised
their way into the ACC.
And like, I think they raised more money than any other school or something like that this offseason or in the last year.
Yep.
So that Dallas oil money is coming through for them.
I like A tier then. Is that where you
I think
you said?
A tier is fair.
Stanford.
C.
All right, easy enough. Syracuse.
New York. Does that do anything for you? It's
Not
even
really.
A college
It's
football
almost
area.
No, and it's almost too far north, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think that's probably C tier.
Even basketball's not as good as they used to be.
Nope.
So we had Duke and B tier. How about North Carolina then?
How could you Big Snacks? You have to give me a reason how you can say that Clemson offers nothing to the Big 12.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
What?
UNC, North Carolina.
I think they got to be with Duke. They are a
B tier?
slightly better football program, I think.
Yes. How long does Mac Brown have though? I'm surprised he came back. Honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
B tier. That's another school who's kind of like NC State, honestly, just sneakily putting players into the league over the last 10 years or so. Virginia Tech are what's his name? Drones? First name?
Kylan Drones.
Kylan Drones.
Kyron Drones. Kyron, I believe. I saw there's a Shedeur, Drones, Cam Ward, Select QB Athletics quarterback camp coming up.
That's fire.
If I were, back in my young days of still slinging it, I would be there.
Odds Julian Lewis shows up to that.
That would be powerful.
Virginia Tech, though.
Virginia Tech is such a Big 12 team.
They do have the vibes.
They're 100% a Big 12 team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they also have great fan base. They fill it up.
Stadium's rocking.
I would love to have Blacksburg just to go to that stadium in the Big 12. Are they good enough for A tier, though? Are they a good enough pull?
They're going to be solid this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be a 10-11 win team, but I think they're easily going to a bowl game, at least 6-7 wins. Could fight for maybe ACC contention if things go their way.
I don't see what makes them any different than the A tier teams. I would put them up there.
All right. I like that. I've always liked Virginia Tech.
Me too. I think everyone whose formative years were when ours were.
Yeah.
Because of Michael Vick.
And Marcus Vick.
And
Tyrod Taylor.
Like have a soft spot for Virginia Tech. See, someone says Virginia Tech is a no TV draw.
I
don't think that's true. If I see Virginia Tech on, I tune in.
Yeah, they're not a team where it's like, oh, I'm going to go find another game. It's like, oh, Virginia Tech's on. I'm going to watch it. Their rival then, Virginia. Probably a bigger basketball ad than football ad at this point.
Put them in with the basketball schools and B.
Is that what the B stands for?
Yeah, B stands for basketball
schools. Wake Forest. I don't know what you're getting here, really, honestly.
Also, more of a basketball school. You get the slow mesh.
You get the slow mesh.
I don't know.
It's C tier for me.
It's C, yeah.
And then Wazoo.
C.
All right. So there it is right now.
It's a nicely balanced list, I will say.
We've got... Go ahead.
I don't think the chat necessarily agrees with us, but I think we got this right. Connor said that Oregon State would be better than any team other than FSU, and there's just... I don't think you have any way you can back up that
Connor,
claim.
Look, man. I'm not going to lie. I got a bit of a soft spot for the Beavers, but this is not on this list. I'm sorry, man.
The Beavers also have a soft spot, too.
This guy.
Yeah, so I don't see it with Oregon State. Like, not a poll, not a what's the word I'm looking for? A market draw.
Yeah.
There's just not much there other than the fact that they're decent in sports usually.
So to recap, S tier, Clemson, FSU. A tier, Georgia Tech, Miami, SMU, Virginia Tech. B tier, Boise State, Duke, NC State, Pitt, North Carolina, and Virginia. The rest kind of just don't matter, honestly.
So, interesting question. How is Miami not S? I mean, we talked about it. Jake kind of talked me out of it. I was originally going to put them S. But the fact that they haven't been good in a long time in football and don't even really have a stadium
Right.
isn't great. And
They can't sell it up. There's so much empty space there when they play now.
it's weird. They've tried. Man, if there was any school, I hope it doesn't happen, that would benefit from hiring Coach Prime maybe the most,
Yeah.
it would be Miami, just because he would absolutely restore them to what they once were.
You can stop right now, bro. All right.
I'm just saying they need someone to get them their swagger back.
Well, we've got to pick two here because we're assuming 4 are entering, right? Is that what we're going to go with?
We can only pick 4.
Well, how many would you add? We're at 16. FSU and Clemson make our S tier. They seem like the two most obvious ones.
Yep.
You could round it out at a full 20, or you could just keep it at 18, I guess. But who would be 2 other teams that you'd add outside of that?
Show me the A tier.
It's Georgia Tech, Miami, SMU, and Virginia Tech.
SMU got a lot of pushback. I want to see what happens with SMU this year with them playing in the ACC. But I really think that, like, I don't know if Florida State comes to town for them or if Clemson or one of those other big ACC schools goes to Dallas. I just think when you see that, you're going to see, like, a legit college football atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that's going to make them a lot more desirable moving forward. But I don't think I can do it quite yet. I am really interested in just having Texas, which we already have, more than any other Power 4.
Yeah.
But I think more Texas is better when it comes to football. But until I can see if they actually start to turn around their support other than just really rich people from Texas and start to get just like regular people from Texas to go to their games, I'm going to have to wait on them and I think go Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech is my first answer to this.
So I got Miami and Virginia Tech.
I mean, I'm intrigued by what you say.
Natural rivalry, too, with West Virginia.
Yes, of course. I'm intrigued by what you say about SMU just by capturing Texas like that. And I think that'd be a way to make the Big 12 feel more like the Big 12, too. I look at Atlanta, though, and I just think that, you already have a school in Florida. In this scenario, you would be adding Florida State as well, so you'd have 2 in Florida. I mean, I think that's enough to kind of have a Florida-ish pipeline. And then you could just add the Atlanta market in there, and all of a sudden the Big 12 could be recruiting up there. Maybe not immediately with the SEC and Big 10, but you put yourself in position to basically compete with them in recruiting for the future.
Yeah, Christopher says, Your Mark wants coast to coast, look Pacific. Don't you think that Your Mark could have had any of those Pacific schools in this last round?
If he wanted Stanford or Cal, he would have gone after them. If he wanted
Oregon
Wazoo
State
or Oregon State.
That's what I mean. So
Yes.
I agree with your idea that he wants coast to coast. I just don't think that those are the schools for it.
And also just knowing what we know now, I'm sure he made a run at Oregon and Washington last year too.
Oh, yeah. And that would have been really powerful.
Yeah. Any other schools that we missed out? Are there any G5 teams that you would consider, like Tulane, SDSU?
No.
Who else did we have?
I think my answer is no. There's no way any of them could get into the A or S tier.
What about like Liberty, UTSA, Louisiana, Coastal, teams like that? No.
If there's one school that I would accept that's not on this list if they wanted to come home, and that's Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah.
And to be fair, both Colorado and Nebraska, if they could go back and keep everything the same, would not have left.
No, I agree. I don't think they do anything.
Now, you kind of had to get out from under the crazy shadow that was Texas.
Right.
Texas was just starting to like slurp up all the money that was going into the conference. But all things created equal, and you take that out of the equation, I think Nebraska and Colorado would say, yeah, we never would have left. It was a mad scramble. It felt like everything was about to fall apart. Nebraska and Colorado both jumped. Nebraska, obviously, from a conference they're in now standpoint, is happy that they're in the Big Ten because the Big Ten is one of the two most stable conferences.
Sure.
But they haven't. I think they made one Big Ten championship. They got blown out. They haven't had any legitimate success in the conference, and they just don't really fit in. Everyone in that conference hates them. I mean, and not because they're good, just because they're kind of like an outcast.
Right. Do you think Yormark's crazy enough to just say, hey, Notre Dame, let's make it happen?
He's crazy enough, but Notre Dame has it easy. They would never.
Can they just join a conference already? This is crazy.
I think they should be required to. I think that's something that the College Football Playoff Committee should have done and just held over their head and been like, we're only accepting teams from conferences in the College Football Playoff.
Yeah. It would make things a lot easier, too, with the auto bids and all that. All right, that was fun. We got
Connor
the chat
said the
riled
Beavs
up.
want the ACC anyway. Well, they're perfectly positioned to join the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Hey, man, good luck with that travel schedule. All right, let's get to questions. Brandon, RK,
I believe that's Brandon.
Oh, Brandon. What's the vibe of the team heading into week 3 against CSU? Can't have the boys getting too overconfident.
Yeah, I mean, look, I talked about this in my press conference yesterday. We overlooked Colorado State last season, and we almost paid the ultimate price. But most of our guys were here for that, and they experienced that.
Yeah.
And we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let any comments from their weaselly little coach get under our
his
skin.
coach's wife?
Yeah, we don't care about his wife or his kid running their mouth on social media. This season is all about business for us, and we're going to go in there and take care of business.
Do you expect the game to be played cleanly after last year?
How could I? How could I? You know, they call them Cheap Shot University for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They believe, in my opinion, the way to level the playing field is to play outside of the rules. And I can only hope that the referees, have an eye out for it.
Mountain West refs, are you prepared?
Yeah, look, we know what we're getting ourselves into. But we're going to protect ourselves, and we're going to go play football, and we're going to keep it between the whistles and between the lines. We can only hope for the same for them.
Final question, Coach. This is the first time Colorado's gone to Fort Collins in a long time. Just your thoughts on going to FOCO.
Smelly. Why does it smell like that?
I don't know. I'm asking you the questions.
Made a trip up there just to kind of scout out the area, and just, wow. Absolutely stinks.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too. Connor, real question. How the fuck is Boise over Oregon State? Do you want to answer this?
I don't know. Vibes.
Vibes. Sorry, Connor. The blue turf.
Great golf in Coeur d'Alene. I think that's decently close.
What's up, Nicholas? Who do you guys have starting at receiver? It seems like Shedeur likes Cordell.
Oh man,
Your thoughts, coach?
this always creates a stir.
Have you modified your receiver depth chart at all?
No, actually, Jimmy is nasty in the game.
He is. I can confirm.
And he's nasty in real life too. But I have been running a lot of the spread formation, which gives me Travis outside left, Will Shep outside right, LeJohntay inside left, Jimmy inside right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many good plays out of there that can get the ball to those guys. I will say I put Michael, damn it,
Yep.
as my fifth receiver. And so he comes out in empty sets, and he is kind of sick in the game. I'm trying to keep it as realistic as possible, but like part of me wants to just double, triple, quadruple down on speed.
Wear and tear is going to play its role. I can already feel it in my dynasty too. So I'm sure once we hit mid-season, you're going to have to dig into the depth chart and find guys that can play for you. So
All right. Well, we've got depth.
we do.
They're like updating their rosters. Have you noticed they've been like periodically updating their rosters? Just like little things. Like the first online game I played, it had the kind of like setup that when we did our video.
Yeah.
The second online game I played, it had Tyler Brown starting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It was weird.
I mean, technically the game isn't even out yet, so I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if we get a patch on Friday too, like a day one patch, to fix some things. There's been some glitches and stuff I've
Did
run
you see
into.
the Travis Hunter glitch?
No.
This is hilarious.
Did you see the Notre Dame leprechaun at like the Penn State Ohio State game?
No. Watch this, dude. Travis just I've been wanting to call him Skywalker in this highlight. It sets him up for that.
Yo. Whoa. Whoa, he's climbing.
It's just a glitch.
That's wild.
Travis just starts ascending to the heavens.
That's insane. He's just ascending into college football royalty at
Yes,
that point.
exactly.
Reggie says Big 12 getting 1 billion impressions, 117% year over year increase. How much of this 117% we give in Colorado?
Wait, billion impressions on what, Media Day content?
Yeah,
or
from
something?
Media Day, yeah.
I would say 116. 116% goes to
Probably,
Colorado.
honestly.
Yeah.
What else came out of Big 12?
Mike Gundy. Yeah.
That's the only thing.
So maybe we'll give him 10%.
Yeah. 414J says, do you think BJ Green will be added to NCAA 25? I hope so, man.
We haven't met BJ in person yet.
Yeah.
Or else I would honestly just text him to find out if he opted in. He might have just not opted in.
That is true. He was, remember though, he had like the weird transfer stuff because he was committed to Washington.
Did we check if he's on ASU's roster or Washington's?
We did not check, but I think he was just kind of in limbo in the portal for a little while, and that might have be the reason that he's not in right now. I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't want to be in though. He's going to be one of the top-rated players on the team.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Andre says, any word on Nikhai Hill-Green and how he's been performing at PLPs, etc.? Curious how big his impact is going to be in the linebacker room.
I think he's going to be your number one linebacker inside.
I've talked to him a little bit, and he's doing all right, it seems. Haven't really talked to him about football stuff, but we just know what he is. He's a guy capable of being a leader and a dog, so I don't know how he doesn't make the room better.
Yeah, I agree. Some conversations in the chat about Fort Collins. Someone said, I'm a Boulder guy, but I like Fort Collins. Honestly, it's in Colorado, so it starts above a lot of places. But I don't like the vibe. That's not for me.
Only been there once.
The one thing I will say is you can drink for cheap there.
All right. What about that? Well, you're out of time for today. It's time to go. Time to go strap it up, man, and just get ready to battle it out for our conference titles.
Yeah, I'm guessing on the later side for me tonight for our trip to Fort Collins.
All right.
So
Stay tuned.
maybe like 7 Mountain.
Okay. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you. See you on the other
Wow,
side.
you don't tell me good luck either?
Oh, good
or
luck.
Call me Coach?
Good luck, Coach. Sorry.
Oh, fine. Let's go Buffs.
This is a Buff show. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.